I had to make this video not for, the racist white men and women out there who are just using this situation just to be racist, but to the black men and women out there, to my black brothers and sisters out there who are all online defending Metcalf and accusing Anthony.
I got a question for y'all. Why did he have the knife? Why did Karmelo have the knife? If he was he was in self-defense, why did he go up there with a knife? That fries him right there. I need y'all to explain to me why y'all trying to make this boy a victim. Why did Karmelo have a knife? That's because he was a criminal. There's also pictures of him holding guns, holding up his middle finger. I don't care if he got good grades. He went up there with a bad intent. I believe he went up there with the intent to harm somebody. Because who takes knife to attract me?
You have a lot of black people out there saying that it's disgusting that black people are building a GoFundMe for this child. And they're also asking the stupid question, why did he have a weapon? You have to ask, well, why did he have a weapon on him? Why was he carrying a weapon? This, some of it is blind stupidity, but you do have a lot of pathetic coons out there who really try to suck up to white people. A lot of them do it because they think they're going to get, a following and it'll help them make money. That's pathetic in itself. But then you have others who are even more pathetic, and they do it just because they just want to be accepted. And I'm just going to say nonsense just so I can be accepted. Why would this kid have a weapon on him? The same reason anybody else carries a weapon on them, because they're trying to defend their life from something. Either they've already been attacked in the past, they've been bullied in the past, people have picked on them, there's some sort of threat that they're aware of, and so they carry a weapon. That's why you have so many white people supposedly defending the Second Amendment, because they want to have weapons so that they can defend themselves, right? Nobody asks, well, why do these white people all want to have guns? No one asks that for some reason, because we know the reason why. They want to have guns because they feel like having a weapon will even the odds. That's why it's called an equalizer. It equals the playing field. If there is a threat out there that I think is too big for me, I want something that will level or equal the playing field, and it is this weapon. So people carry weapons because, again, either they are afraid something will happen or they've already experienced something, and so they carry something with them. I remember when I was in junior high school, I went to school in New York, and in junior high, even in elementary, you'd have bullies and kids that would pick on you, and I had kids that would pick on me. I didn't learn how to defend myself until junior high, but even after that, there would be groups of kids that would pick on me. And I was a little kid, I didn't know any better, but there was, the little nail clippers you have, there's like that little file inside, like a nail file. For some reason, I thought that I could use that to stab somebody. I don't know why. Once I grew up and realized what it was, I was like, oh, I was a stupid kid. But I remember taking my father's or my mother's, whoever's nail clipper, or my sister's nail clipper, because it had that little thing in there that I thought was a blade, and I didn't have access to a little blade to take with me, so I took that because I was going to use it if these kids bullied me. And I carried it thinking it was a weapon. It wasn't, but thinking it was a weapon because I wanted to defend myself from kids that had already been bullying me. And people out there pretending that, well, kids aren't, why would this kid have a weapon on them? It's crazy that any kid would want to defend themselves from bullies or any altercation that may happen. Those people are just playing dumb. They're playing stupid. Also, you have the fact that our schools aren't safe here because the white-run government and the white-run justice system work to make it easier for murderers to just walk into a school with an AK-47 and commit murder. So yeah, you may have kids, even if they were never bullied, they may carry something just in case they're at an event or they're in their school, and somebody bursts in with a gun. They may want to have something. You acting like it's incomprehensible. If a white kid was carrying a knife, it's not like this kid had a Glock in his waistband. He had a knife in his bag. If a white kid was carrying a knife in their bag, Nobody would sit there and say, well, why'd they have a weapon on them? They must be a thug. No one would say that, and we all know that. Everyone would assume, well, the kid, maybe their parents are like hunters or something, and they taught them to defend themselves, or the kid wanted to defend themselves. It's not like Karmelo was waving the blade around asking for trouble. It was safely tucked away in his bag in case he needed it, because clearly, based on this incident, things had been happening to him while he was going to school or with certain kids. And so he carried it on him just in case something happened again. And it did happen again. And he had something on him to defend himself, and he successfully defended himself. That's why he had the weapon on him. No, go and ask any of these black people saying, why did he have a weapon? Ask them to show you, if you ever run into that, comment on their posts and ask them, please repost or share a link to any post that you had in the past where you asked why Zimmerman had a gun on him while he was driving around his neighborhood. Because nobody asked these questions then when a full-grown adult decided he was going to follow, harass, and then, even though the police told him not to, get out and attack a child and then murder the child when the child successfully defended themselves. Nobody said, well, why did Zimmerman have a gun on him? He must have been looking to murder someone. Nobody said that. How come nobody said that back then? I'll tell you what white society did say. This is what they had to say.
In your heart and in your head, you are 100% convinced that George Zimmerman, in taking out his gun and pulling the trigger, did nothing wrong.
I'm 101% that he should have done what he did.
You mean he shouldn't have gotten out of the car, he shouldn't have pursued Trayvon Martin, but in the final analysis, in the final struggle,
when the end came the end,
he was justified.
He was justified in shooting Trayvon Martin.
When Zimmerman murdered that child who was walking back to his house after buying candy at the store, white society got together and said, oh, well, Zimmerman had every right to kill that kid. He was defending himself, even though he started the fight. Even though he started the fight, in order to defend himself against this black child, well, he should have murdered him. He had every right to murder that child with the weapon he was carrying. So hearing this crap now about, well, why did this kid have a knife? He deserves to go to jail just because he had the knife on him. That automatically makes him guilty and means he had some sort of criminal intent. We all know where that's coming from. That's just irrational nonsense from people who are so blindly jealous of black society that it allows them to be so hate-filled that it makes them not even think. And so they say this nonsense. We all know what happened at this event, especially if you look at the pictures. This kid, who is a track star himself, was at a track meet. He was sitting on the bleachers. It started raining. He went to the closest covering that he could, so he could get out of the rain. He sat down, and these kids, these white kids who were bigger than him, took that opportunity to try to flex their muscle and went to him and told him, you got to move and go sit back in the rain. And he said, I'm not moving. What are you talking about? It's raining. I'm sitting here at the track meet. Who are you to tell me I got to move? This is our school. You got to move. I don't have to do anything. The kids then put their hands on him. He warned them, do not put your hands on me again. Don't touch me again or something's going to happen. The kids are like, well, I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to bully you anyway because I don't think you can defend yourself because you're smaller than me and there's more than one of me. So I can continue to bully you. He decided to assault the kid again and the kid defended himself. We all know exactly what happened. Even the white people know what happened. We know what these jocks do at these schools. We know what these white kids, how they talk to black kids. I went to high school. I grew up in New York, went to high school in the South. And surprise me, the white kids are bold. I didn't expect them to be as bold as they were, but they were bold. I got into fights with a few white kids. One white kid was on a wrestling team, towered over me, and thought he was just going to bully me until he grabbed me and I grabbed him back. And he realized I was a lot stronger than I looked. We know what stuff happens. We know what goes on in the South, what goes on with these jocks, how they act, how the schools treat them, how society treats them, the stuff that they can get away with. We all know this. And now people are just playing dumb. We don't know what happened. This kid, he was just a church-going Christian boy who walked up to this angry, dark, scary black gang member and said, please, my good friend, can you please move out of this seat because it's raining and I need to sit down. And the black kid jumped up and said, yo, nigga, get the fuck out of my face. I'm gonna kill you. And then he killed him. Oh, they're all pretending like, well, we don't know what happened. We know exactly what happened. But it's that jealousy that I always talk about. It's the jealousy that makes white society just become irrational fools. And they just say nonsense. Right now, what's going on in the government, what's going on in this country, where people can't afford food, you're finding out that companies are purposely putting poison into your children's food, your drinking water, putting lead into child food products. Companies are stealing water, a public resource. They're working with the government to make it legal for them to steal water from people so that when forest fires happen, there's no water to put out the fire because wealthy people have worked to steal the water. Places in North Carolina, these huge storms happen, and because the government is robbing the citizens of their tax dollars and funneling it up to the wealthy and pocketing some of it, they don't have money to provide aid to the people who were just affected by this storm, even though the people who are the ones that pay the taxes are saying, give us some of our money back. And the government's saying, no, we don't have your money anymore because we've been stealing it all this time. You're finding out all these agencies have just been funneling your tax dollars out of the country and just giving it to wealthy people around the world and pocketing some of it. All kinds of crap is happening here. People's lives are being destroyed. Our way of life is being eroded. White society is included in that. Wealthy whites and the government are destroying their ability to live a normal, comfortable life. And instead of focusing on that, they take any opportunity that they can to say, oh, we can attack black people and hurt black people. Oh, well, let's forget about all the stuff that's actually hurting us, and let's spend our time and energy and resources hurting the black people and attacking the black people and being stupid and irrational. That's why I call it jealousy, because it's people engaging in things that are just nonsensical. You have other problems to worry about. Why are you focusing so much on hating black people? You have other white people out there using this opportunity to distract. So people like Megyn Kelly, other white people in the news, the white media on the left and the right are purposely going out of their way to not give the full facts on this story because they are purposely, and again, it's the jealousy causing white people to be irrational and not see this. They're purposely going out of their way to push this story in a certain way because they know it will distract white society. And once again, because of this distraction pushed by the wealthy, white society will forget all about the problems caused by the wealthy white men and women who own these companies and who run our government. They'll forget all about that, and they'll start attacking black people. And black people, instead of us being able to focus on also fighting against the wealthy whites who are destroying our lives and the wealthy people within the government who are destroying our lives, instead of us also being able to come together with white society and fight them collectively, we're distracted because we're now fighting against the whites. We're defending ourselves now against these unprovoked attacks by white society who's just mad that a crime happened. That there was a crime that happened. Crimes happen all the time. Why are you guys getting so upset? The black kid's in jail. What are we supposed to do? We're doing a GoFundMe because we're trying to get this kid to have some sort of what word am I trying to say? To have some sort of defense when he goes to court. So he has something that he can use to defend himself. But we're not trying to steal him out, break him out of prison. He's in jail right now. And we expect that he's going to go through the court process. And as long as the court process is fair and the facts come out and as long as this kid is actually guilty of premeditated murder and that's proved, black people aren't going to say anything. White people are saying, well, if the roles were reversed, black people would be in the streets rioting. Yes, dumbass. We riot in the streets because we don't get justice. When we get killed, the white-run justice system goes out of its way to protect the criminal. They work to make sure they don't punish the criminal, and the criminal goes free, as in the case of George Zimmerman, who murdered a child who was walking home after getting candy. George Zimmerman never got punished for that. So we riot, because now we know, well, something's up. Because if a black man murdered a white child who was walking home after getting candy, that black man would be rotting under the jail right now. But because this person isn't black, well, then the justice system then goes out of its way to make sure that they don't go to jail. We know that, and white people know that. So we go on the street and fight for justice. White people, there's no reason to fight right now. The criminal's in jail. He's being punished. So why would you fight? Why would we fight? He's in jail. Also, to the black people saying, well, it's disgusting how black society is putting money in this GoFundMe to help this child get some sort of defense for himself. Again, show me a post or give me a link that will take me to a post where you said the same thing about Daniel Penny. Daniel Penny wasn't being attacked. He wasn't being assaulted. Nobody was even talking to him. Daniel Penny got up, snuck behind someone, and choked them to death because the person was yelling. He choked him to death while other people held the man's hands so he couldn't even fight back. He couldn't even defend himself. He was just held in place and choked to death. White society gave this guy millions of dollars. Millions! And this guy was acquitted. Most of that money probably didn't even go to lawyers. It just went into Daniel Penny's pocket. This guy murdered an innocent man and got paid for it. Nobody came out and said, oh, it's disgusting that white society is putting all this money together for someone who murdered someone literally for no reason. Nobody said that. But now all of a sudden, when black people do the same thing, it's disgusting that black people would be able to do what we do. And that's exactly what white society is saying. White society is disgusted that black people have access to the same rights as them. They know exactly what's going on here. They're just angry that black people have access to the same rights as them. That's it. They did the same thing we're doing now for Karmelo Anthony. They did for Daniel Penny. And they're just mad that we're able to do it. And that instead of us arguing online about a gender divide or talking about the latest rap star or any of that nonsense, that we're actually working together to fight and to protect ourselves and to make some sort of justice for ourselves. That's what white society is upset about. Not the fact that we're doing it, because they literally just did the same thing. They're upset not that the GoFundMe is up, because again, they just did it. That's normal to them. They're upset that we are actually working together and that we are working to make sure we have the same rights as them. They don't want that. And again, it's because of jealousy and racism. Jealousy would only make these people as angry as they are in a situation like this. Nothing crazy or outlandish is happening. A crime happened. The person who was accused is in jail. The justice system is taking it from here. And all black people are doing, we're not at the jails breaking the doors down trying to take the child out of jail. All we're doing is going along with the justice system and making sure that this kid has some sort of competent legal defense. That's it. Just trying to make sure he has the money to pay for the defense the same way a white person would have the money to pay for the defense. That's it. Right now he's in jail. What crime? Why are white people so angry that we're doing that? It's because of jealousy. Jealous of black people. And it causes them to do all of these things that seem crazy and irrational. Because it is irrational. Jealous people tend to do irrational, stupid, nonsensical things, and that's what you're seeing. And to the black people out there that are kissing up to white society, watch your ass, because you may get mixed up in something like this in the future, and the white people ain't going to help you. They're not going to fight to help you. And Black society, we're going to go back and look at all of your old posts, your old tweets, your old comments. And when we see how much of a disgusting, pathetic coon you are, we ain't going to help you either. And you're going to be stuck all by yourself.